My name's Sam. I met Elize in middle school. She was our neighbor, and I'd always had a crush on her. I just never got the courage up to say hi. That day, a group of boys were picking on me, and Elize swooped in to save the day. One moment they had me by my collar, and the next, they were crying on the floor, snot dripping down their noses. Elize was my hero. She got told off by our principal, and they had her parents come in. I could tell they were very mad at her, but that was the beginning of our friendship. Elize and I spent every day together, and then, one day, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. It was the happiest day in my life. But I didn't realize someone else liked her. It was one of the boys who was tormenting me, and in his jealousy, he told everyone he saw us kissing. That made Elise's parents very mad. So mad that they had a fight with my parents. They ended up moving, and I never even got to say goodbye to my childhood sweetheart. One day, she was there. The next, her whole house was empty. Many years passed and I forgot about her. I poured my soul into my work until I struck gold. Pretty much literally. I was working on my grandpa's farm when I noticed some gold nuggets in the river. I followed it all the way to a hidden cave and saw that the cave wall had collapsed and the ground had cracked, exposing the gold there. A spring of water was gushing out, creating a stream that carried the loose gold all the way down the river. I became a billionaire overnight. My family enjoyed life like we never did before. We bought all the surrounding land around the farm and built a mansion. I built a mining company, and I bought cars, a boat, and my own jet. 3 years later, my best friend came home from a job abroad with someone in tow. It was Elize. She had grown even more beautiful than before. We were so happy to see each other, we hugged immediately. I was coming home to meet you, and guess who I bumped into on the plane? I never even suspected something was off. Elize and I began dating again. We did everything together. I promised her the world, and before long, we were engaged. Jay started working for my company. I was so thankful to him I made him my right-hand man. I couldn't thank him enough for reuniting me and Elize. 2 months later, I proposed to Elize, and she said yes. I was going to marry her in Switzerland. I booked an entire ski resort for our guests, and I wasted no time. We flew on my private jet with my best man Jay and our closest friends. In the middle of the flight, Elize excused herself. She said she needed to do her makeup. 5 minutes later, Jay too stood up. I found that weird, but I ignored it. When 20 minutes had passed and Elize hadn't gone back yet, I asked our flight attendant to check on her. She smiled at me, and she blushed. I always found it so cute how she had a crush on me. Nicole went behind the curtain to check on Elize. She was about to knock on the bathroom door when she yelped in surprise. Elize wasn't in the bathroom at all. She was hiding right next to the fridges, talking with Jay. Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you. I'll get out of your way. We heard a click, and 2 voices came on the speakers. You know I've never loved anyone but you. I'm just, securing our future. Once I marry Sam, we'll be set for life. I'll run away with his money and his jewels, and then we can disappear to any country you want. You promise? I promise, baby. I'm only marrying him for a show. I'll trick him into signing divorce papers as soon as I've got everything I can get from him. I believe you. Oh, I can't wait. And when you're free of him, I can finally make my move to take over his company, too. I have people who are loyal to me now. All right, I'll come knock at your door tonight. When he's asleep, we can go on a date under the moonlight so no one will know. I'll be expecting you. Oh, and act like we had an argument when you go out. I'll follow after a minute, so it's not too obvious. But nothing was secret about their conversation at all. The flight attendant overheard what they were talking about, and she decided she wasn't just going to smile and pretend like nothing was happening. So, she politely excused herself and very cunningly left the intercom on. I heard everything she was saying. The whole plane did. The air suddenly felt tense. Where before my friends and I were laughing and having fun, the moment Jay appeared from behind those curtains, everyone was silent. My friends all glared at him. And when Elize appeared behind him, she knew immediately something was wrong. But she tried to play it cool. "Oh, Jay, I didn't even see you there. Why are you standing in the middle of the aisle? And why is everyone staring?" I pushed the button on my seat, and the flight attendant came to me. I smiled at her. "You can come sit here, Nicole." The flight attendant looked surprised at first, but she eventually sat beside me. She was even more beautiful up close, and her blonde hair smelled like lavender. "Could you confirm, please, Nicole, that these were the two having that conversation we just heard?" Nicole nodded. "Conversation? What conversation? What are you talking about?" "There's no need to pretend. We heard you. We all heard you." Elise's face changed from being innocent to angry. "Okay, so what? Did you honestly think I'd ever fall for you? Look at you. Now look at me. You're nothing compared to me. All you're good for is money. I've been with your best friend ever since before we reunited. In fact, he was the one who told me you were rich now. It's not like you can do anything about it. You are going to fall, and you're gonna fall hard. I'm just here to take what I can get before you're a homeless beggar in the streets." I just smiled. I gestured to Nicole to help me with something. "Nicole, love, would you be so kind as to fetch Elize her, I mouthed the word, parachute." Nicole was confused, but she nodded anyway and disappeared behind the curtain. "Get me a what? I don't need anything. Honestly, just get over it already. You're toast." Elize tried to sit next to me, but I pushed her away, to the other end of the seats. "What? You can't seriously be mad at me. You should be thanking me. It's a privilege you get to marry me." I laughed. "There won't be a wedding, Elize." "Oh, please. You're joking, right? You're gonna dump me? Me?" "Oh, I'm not just dumping you. I'm throwing you out of the plane. Fuel is very expensive, you see, and I just can't stand to have you waste any more of my time and money. So, I'm afraid this is your stop." Nicole appeared with the parachute. Jay looked scared. I looked at him and told him to put the chute on his girlfriend. He didn't want to, but I told him that if he wanted to keep his job and reputation, he should do everything I said. Just like that, Jay turned on Elize. He strapped the parachute on her as if his life depended on it. Elize resisted, but what could she do? No one in that plane wanted her there anymore. "You're gonna regret this! Nobody's ever gonna want to date you! You think any girl would want you? Just you wait! You'll come crawling back to me!" "I don't think so." I took Nicole's hand and asked her if I could kiss her. Suddenly, her eyes lit up and she said yes. I kissed her right in front of Elise's shocked face. "Wait! No, wait! I changed my mind. I do want to marry you. No, don't make me get off the plane. We can start over. No, please, don't leave me here. I don't have any money. I won't be able to get home. We're in the middle of nowhere, Sam." "Sorry, you've got to go now." "No, don't!" And as Elize floated away, I called out to her, "Who's falling now, Elize?" Everyone laughed, and Nicole finally did as well. I knew the moment she started working on that jet that she had a thing for me. I just never really thought of it because I thought I was in love and happily engaged. But now I get to date a much more beautiful girl than that gold digger. She was hardworking, ambitious, and smart too. The wedding still went through. It was just postponed a few days. Not to Elize, obviously. I married Nicole. None of our guests complained. At least, they got to stay 3 days longer in that ski resort. It took a while to get Nicole's parents and friends flown over since the decision was so spontaneous. But as soon as they did, I asked for their blessing, and Nicole and I got married in the Swiss Alps. After, we spent an entire month traveling Europe. We went to Rome, then Croatia, then Norway. And honestly, I couldn't have wished for a better wife. Nicole was everything I knew she was going to be. She was caring and sweet, and she always made me laugh. The best part of the trip was when we saw a newspaper with Elise's face plastered all over it. Her hair was all sorts of a mess and had leaves and twigs all over. The headline said that she was a lost tourist who became a meme for telling the most ridiculous story when they found her. The funniest part was that she had stupidly opened her parachute way too early, and the wind carried her hundreds of miles from where we dropped her. She ended up stuck in a tree in a forest in Liechtenstein. The people there thought she was some sort of Russian spy and refused to help her. Nobody wanted to help her get home, and they didn't want to give her a job. Now she's living under a bridge like the troll that she is.